Okay, no issue.
Good morning, all of you. Firstly, I welcome our today's guest, Mr. Amit Jadhav, sir, who is HR Manager at SciTech Lab Private Limited, Mumbai. Today, there is an seventh session of our guest lecture series 2022, organized by KBHS Trust Institute of Pharmacy, Malegaon, District, Nasik. So it gives me an immense pleasure to introduce today's eminent guest speaker, Mr. Amit Jadhav, sir, who is an HR manager. Sir has currently associated with SciTech Lab Private Limited, Mumbai. SciTech Private Lab Limited is a branch of Cipla Limited India. Cipla is one of the topmost company in pharma sector. Sir has made more than 16 years of experience in pharma industry. Sir has completed his MSW HRM, means Master of Social Work in Human Resource Development Management. Sir has expertise in Human Resource and Development Management, that is we call HR, and which is important department in pharma sector. Today we will understand steps in recruitment process and selection process, key skill that are required for apply in a pharma industry, then various area of interest, then core functions of HR department, joining formalities, and many more. Means HR related, or we can call as a selection process in pharma industry that we have understand from sir. Now I would request to Amit Jadhav sir to start today's session and enrich our student with your huge knowledge and experience. Sir, you can proceed now.
Okay, thank you, Alshar sir. Sir, screen is audible. Can you?
Is visible, sir.
Okay, visible. Thank you. Good morning to the faculty as well as the students. My name is Amit, as sir introduced. I'm working with SciTech Labs Limited, which is associate company of Cipla, and there I'm head operations HR and admin. Now, on request of sir, today we are having this session to understand the role of HR in the process of recruitment and the selection. So I have prepared slides. So we will go through it, and after that, if you have any questions at the end of session, we will discuss one to one. So, sir, shall we start?
Yes, sir, surely.
Okay, thank you. So today's agenda is we will go slide wise to understand the process and how it is related to you as a fresher. Now you are going to the labor market now to seek a job. So this PPT will help you to understand the internal process as well as the expectation from the HR point of view while appearing the interviews and getting on board of any company. So I will use English as well as Marathi as a hybrid so that make you understand in details. So the agenda of today's session will be the vacancies in organization, means how they are created, means how any organization is having vacancies. We'll understand in brief. Then how the recruitment plan is prepared and how it is executed by HR. Then we'll understand the recruitment process, selection process. Onboarding means joining, and after that what happens to that candidate in the company. Next we will cover employee cycle in private organization, means in which steps the HR is involved in relation to the employee cycle throughout his in to out from that particular organization. Next we will cover preparations before applying for any job. These are the my insights which will help you to make you understand further what are the preparation to be done before appearing in interview or before applying to any job to any company. And then we'll cover the few interview tips. Means I have listed down some points on the practical experience, and those may be helpful for you while appearing the interviews. And later that we will have the question answer sessions. So if you don't understand any point, then please write down somewhere, and during the question answers we will get it again in details. So to understand how the vacancies are created in an organization, is what are the basic processes. These are the internal process, but to understand the further processes, these basics should be known to any individual who is working in private organization. So as a HR, we have to create for budgeting for the next year in the month of December or January. Means now our manpower budgeting is going on for the financial year 22-23, where we take evaluation of existing manpower, the skill sets required to execute the current business load, and if we have the projection of further business for the next year, then we have to allocate the manpower accordingly. For example, I am working on 100% capacity, and for some reason like corona or for another reason, if my business is less in coming year projection, then we don't recruit the vacant positions, and we keep on holding the whatever we have the manpower. In case if the business is having growth, then we have to prepare the expansion plan, like we have to increase our capacity by increasing machines or increasing lab instruments, and we cater the load if it is we foresee in the future. So in this process, the vacancies are created, and they are displayed to the labor market. Second part is process expansion. As I mentioned, if I am working 100% in capacity, and in future year I have many businesses, or I have opportunities to increase my business, then I will increase the my facility, or बोलते हैं ना एक यूनिट बढ़ गया दूसरा यूनिट बढ़ गया. So we expand our capacity of production or processing of lab. There the vacancies are created, because after adjusting of existing manpower skill sets, we need further manpower requirement, where we start recruitment. Another aspect is vacancies due to resignation. These are the natural cycle of employees, where they come and they resign after some period of time to get the future growth. At that time also companies are having vacancies. Fourth, due to promotion. Sometimes we create the positions where promote the employees, and the vacant positions again we have to fill from the outside people. So hope you understand this, how the vacancies are created in organization. Then we jump to the second slide, that is recruitment plan. Recruitment plan is nothing but to find out the suitable candidates from the outside market. So we will go one by one. Post manpower budget approval, we get the approval from the manpower budget, which is fixed for the next year. HR prepare the recruitment plan, where the deadlines of the hiring, projection of manpower, particular skill sets, everything is decided, and then we start the actual process of recruitment. Recruitment nothing but to aware outside market that these are vacancies, these skill sets are requirement is available in our company, and now you can apply. So second step is job description. Suppose we have recruit so many positions at the same time, but job descriptions are different. For example, one may be in engineering, one may be in HR, one may be in accounts, one may be in finance, one is marketing. So according to their functions, we need to create their job descriptions. We have to decide their location, CTC, experience band. Sometimes we hire freshers, sometimes 1 to 3 years of band, sometimes senior level hiring we do. Then we mention in that JD brief job profile, what the person will do in our company on the certain profile. Then benefits, means CTC and other benefits, whatever. We capture it in job description. Next, Replacement hirings are done on as per the job requirements. For example, if I leave my company, then company has to recruit new person, a new HR on my place. So these are the replacement hirings. So these are the done as per the requirement of that particular skill sets and job requirements. So hope you understand the recruitment plan, where we in short plan how to recruit and how to recruit and which under which deadlines. Next, we will understand the recruitment process. What is that? Once we decide the uh, plan, then we go for the execution. Recruitment process, next step is execution. So now I have to convey my positions, my vacant positions to the labor market, outside market. Then I need to use separate channels, various channels, so that I can reach to them, first of all. So how the people will know, or how the candidates will know my company is having the vacancies. So for that, we used two basic sources. One is internal sources, another is external. We'll understand what are the internal and what are the external. Internal means job posting on career section of company's website. So every company has its own website, and in that there is one section which is called as career section, where the current opportunities vacancies are displayed by the HR department, and below that there is tab provided where the interested candidates can apply on it. So these resumes directly come to HR. So henceforth, whenever you are looking for a job, you just, if you have some prospective companies where you would like to join, just study those companies. You will get the company's websites on Google. Just type the company name, the website address will be appear there. You go there, website. You just go to the career section, and where you can apply directly. These CVs are going directly to the HR or the concerned team member of HR, where the recruitment process is going on. So this is the best window to reach out the any HR. Second, we are having internal reference schemes. Means it varies from company to company, but we can say internal references, where we give some reward to our employees who are referring to best suitable candidates to the company. We declare the vacancies internally through mail or notice board. Accordingly, the employees will suggest few CVs which are in their contacts, because they know the company very well, and accordingly they convince to the candidate that this company is well, benefits are well, so you can join here, start your career. So from there also HR gets the good CVs where they can consider for the screening. Third is through network, because we are in the industry for so many years, many people are knowing to us, so we also use our own networks depending upon the years of experience, bandwidth of that experience level, and we also get the CVs from that channel. Fourth is internal parties. We have the HR database. Sometimes people apply when the vacancy is open, but sometimes we receive so many CVs, even offline also. Means people are keep on sending. So if the CVs are good and prospective to our future vacancies or existing future vacancies, then we assess them and keep it in our database to refer in future use. So these are also useful information for us for next hiring. We need not to go outside. We get the CVs, prospective CVs in our database only. And fifth is apprentice scheme. These are the central government skill development scheme, where they are increasing the headcount of trainees in organization to develop the skill in the freshers, so that their employability can be increased. So this is also internal channel, wherever we hire the apprentices instead of trainees, where both are benefited. Apprentices are getting good amount of stipend as decided by the central government, and they can learn as well in the actual domain. So once after completion of apprentice period, they can be able to apply to any organization or any future prospects within the company or other company, with the having the 1 or 2 years of experience, practical experience, which is benefit for them. Then we will discuss about the external sources, which external sources HR use to convey their postings. We we have the job portal subscription with us, company subscription, where we post the jobs. Means, for example, I need an analyst. So I post that job analyst position in the Naukri.com, which is displayed to the candidates by their own platform, and the people start applying for that. Once they start applying, the CVs are coming to our email IDs, and we then check, and then this database is also used for the screening. Second, if there is mass recruitment, then we use deploy recruitment consultants, which help us to source the candidates from the outside market, and they scrutinize and send it the selected candidates to us for the further processes. So sometimes companies are using recruitment consultants as well. Third is social media like WhatsApp, LinkedIn. Now in this era of social media, many HR are using these tools which are free to use, and the reachability of these tools are very much high, because it goes to the end user. Means for us as HR, the candidate is end user. So many people are using WhatsApp. If we create one posting and share it to the concerned people, then it can reach to the market who are looking for the job. Same, LinkedIn also providing the platform, like many social media, Facebook, like, where the companies are opening their official web page and then they posting the vacancies. The freshers or new candidates can always accept their invites and can be able to see their future requirements. Fourth is advertisement in newspaper. For example, I am opening uh, new location and I need many people to recruit within the short span of time. Then I need to give this advertisement newspaper where I can reach to major mass labor market and I can get the more CVs to close those positions within the stipulated time. Fifth is campus interviews, where the companies having some particular amount of vacancies reserved for the freshers, where we take them as a trainee for 1 year period, and then on the basis of performance they can be absorbed to the future vacancies, or they can be means asked to see another job opportunities. But to hiring process, we approach to the institutes where, and the mutual understanding, we arrange the campus interviews, from where also we get the good candidates which are the resources for our companies further growth. So hope you understand the recruitment process, how the vacancies are being displayed to outside. Next, we will see how the selection process happens. Means once I complete this process, recruitment process, now I have posted my job on career section. I posted job internal references through network. I have spread the news that we have the vacancies. We use the HR database. We check the apprentices if available. If we post on Naukri.com company subscription, we hire the recruitment consultant and ask them to please source this skill set for us, 2, 3, 4, 5 positions, whatever, which are allocated to them. Then we use social media. We, if required, do the campuses, and after that, the CVs are coming to us. For example, once I post the vacancy, then the candidate starts applying. So this is the selection process start, where the CVs are coming to the HR. HR receives interested candidate CVs through various channels, like I explained in earlier slide. Second, HR also have the subscription of job portals, so they also go and screen the CVs and uh, download and call them individually one to one. Then all the CVs are screened by HR team, primary screening, which we call. Then we check the professional capability, then the candidature, job profile requirements. Then CTC parameter if the position is experienced. Uh, then HR has the preliminary call with the candidate, where we check the where he stays, what are his aspirations, is he aware about the job profile. We convey them the CTC bracket on which we are hiring, the location of hiring, about the company details, profile details, and then once the candidate's okay, Then the HR send that CV to the concerned department for the technical screen. Because if I am hiring the analyst, then I have to send it to the technical manager after HR screening. You just see if they are good as per your requirement, then we can go further for it. Once we receive the CVs from technical screening, those shortlisted CVs, we arrange personal interviews. Now due to corona, we are doing the online interviews. If possible, we do personal. If not possible, then we go on online. So once we do the interviews, then we understand about the ability of candidate, and then we can go ahead with the further processes. In this step, a few companies are keeping the aptitude test also to scrutinize the candidates, but a few companies are directly on the basis of their resume go ahead with the just a minute. Sorry. And if the candidate is selected in the interview, then HR proceeds with reference check and CTC discussion. Means, for example, if I select one person, then we need their reference check. Some companies do the background verification also, and then we send that particular candidate for the pre-employment medical examination. This is mandatory step for every organization, where we check whether the candidate is not having any ailments or whatever. If having, then further discussion can be taken further. But before seeing the medical status, we don't hire. That is company policy. And on medical fitness, company offers candidate the offer letter along with the requirement of documents. Then the date of joining is decided mutually with the candidate. HR calls to the candidates, conveys that he is medically fit and when he can join, and all the documents which are mentioned in the offer letter, whether he is possessor or available or not. And after that, they decide mutually the joining date, and the candidate reports to the duty on the decided date. Hope you understand the selection process. If required, we can again come back to the same slide if you have any questions. Uh, First of all, we clear all the slides, so you will have the idea how the process goes. Then the next step is onboarding or joining. We can say joining. On the decided date, candidate reports to the company location, and then HR starts with their HR formalities. We collect the educational certificates, past employment certificates, if any, if the candidate is experienced. We get it filled the statutory forms like PF, PSIC, nomination forms under Payment of Wages Act, Gratuity Act. If we have the mediclaim policy, then the nomination of mediclaim as well. So these are the internal papers where we get it signed from the candidates. Then we have the HR induction kind of process where we make aware that candidate these are the uh, company's profile and the accreditations. These are the management. In that PPT, we mentioned the policies, the rules and regulations. And then once we assure, the HR is assured that all the papers are in line as per the recruitment policy, then the appointment letter is handed over to the candidate on the same date or the very next date, depending upon the companies to company. Then once all the HR induction is over, then we take that candidate to the technical head, that is department head, where his recruitment is done, and we hand over him for further trainings. There in that department, that candidate goes on job training. If the SOPs are there, then he goes under SOP training, and after the completion of their criteria, then they deploy that candidate on the actual job. So we call it that on job deployment. So this is the joining processes where the HR hand over the candidate to the technical HOD department. But keeps a connection with them whenever he is having any issues regarding their employment terms and conditions or attendance or exit, means entry and out, anything which is benefits and whatever. The HR keeps on touch on with him, or the candidate can anyway approach to the HR in terms of difficulties. So we will understand what are the employee cycle in the private organization. So where the HR comes in the picture. First of all, as we see in earlier slide, the recruitment process and then selection. So at the time of appointment, HR comes in the picture. If the person is hired on the probation period or training period, then he has to complete his confirmation after 6 months or 1 year. Their confirmation letter is issued by HR on the process completion process of the assessment. Then every year, if the company is good, financially good, then they release the increments. So in during this process, HR comes in the contact with that employee. Then trainings. That training can be the on-job trainings as well as the behavioral trainings, depending upon the need of that company. Then the appraisals, promotions. If the person is outstanding, then definitely company promote such guys to the next level and give the additional CTC as well as the responsibilities to grow further. Next, separation. In case of that person resigns, then during this his still full and final settlement, HR comes in the picture with that particular candidate. So these are the employee cycle where from appointment to separation, HR is there available to guide as well as to execute the separate processes. So just for your understanding how HR is involved in the whole employees that particular company cycle. And this is very important slide which I would like to give more focus and more time. These last 2-3 slides are very much important for you as a fresher when you are going to present yourself as a candidate in the labor market. So we will go in detail. So what are the preparations you need to do after completion of your course, or even your experience? Then if you want to apply the new prospective job, then you need to do some preparations before appearing the interview, because this 15 minutes or half an interview is your whole evolution. So you need to be prepared on whatever the basic grounds, which I have enlisted some points from the point of HR, may not be necessarily applicable to all where, but these are the standardization of points where the you can work upon so that you can get the better employment. So prepare your decent CV. Sometimes what the candidates are doing, they are giving this job to some senior person or some relative or some professional cyber cafe person, where he copy paste the earlier resumes. So that what happens when we take the interviews, sometimes candidate says, sir, I have not done this, but he has written somewhere there. So he said, sir, my resume is made by somewhere else. So you don't do these mistakes. You, if you are this are you are presenting your CV, you should know each and every word of that CV. Means whatever you have done, you write only that much. आपका एक ही पेज का CV रहेगा तो भी चलेगा as a fresher, but it should be in line whatever you have. You don't copy paste. If there are some lines by mistakenly typed there, you please remove before sending it to the HR, because whatever your interview is conducted or your CV is shortlisted on the basis of that 1 or 2 pages resume. So very this is the very much and important stage where many candidates are doing mistakes. In that CV, what you have to mention is all the details related to your professional achievements, whatever. Though you are a fresher, if you have some courses, then please mention any skill sets. If you have done any, you please mention in that related to your profession you are choosing. Your education details. In that education details, you mention the HSC, SSC, whatever your education in hierarchy level, the institutes from where you have done, the city you have done, the year of passing, as well as the percentage or grade what you are achieved. So at the first glance, HR gets the whole idea. So many questions are minimized there, and it is useful for the screening, for the screening. Second, we need to give importance to read each and every word of your CV and do preparations accordingly. Means whatever you know, you just write it in CV. Don't write anything which you don't know, because sometimes this interviewer, if picks that only line, and if you're not able to answer, then it is bad impression. So better it is, as I mentioned in first point, you please check what you have written in CV in detail, word to word, and if there is nothing related to you, your experience, you please remove that words. Because for screening, if you write so many things, but in actual interview, if in 2-3 questions the interviewer knows that you don't know anything, so it is bad impression. Better it is you know what you actually know, you write it. Third point, update your CV on Naukri.com, Monster.com, like job portals, where the subscriptions are free, actual free. But keep it updated always. Means if you update a CV today, for example, and after 3 months you go and recheck whether my earlier resume is having the all the data, or is there any change needed to update. If you feel that anything to be modified, you modify and then upload, so that the HR will get the your updated CV always. So it is better for always screening. Next point we can discuss here: use personal networks to reach out to the companies. Now what will happen, once you complete your education, then you don't know in which companies the vacancies are available now. So for that, easiest step is, as I mentioned, many companies are having the internal reference scheme, where the employees provides their references with their own what you say circle. So if you know people from the same industry where you would like to apply, then please call them, meet them, and just keep in touch with them. Whenever there is vacancy, they will tell you that my company's vacancy, please apply. So you will get the ready-made pathway to reach out to the vacancies in whatever the companies are available. So this is use your personal networks, your relatives, friend to friend, friend of friend, whatever. Check prospective companies website for culture and working domain. If you receive one call, for example, from, I call you from Scitech Labs, or the position is open for Scitech Labs and you are applying. So first of all, what you do, always go to the company's website, check the culture, whatever information you can collect, you collect, because uh, you need to understand where you are going to apply first. Second, in case of selection, you are going to work there. So the choice should be proper before appearing for the interview. What will happen, लोग इंटरव्यू देते हैं, बाद में बोलते हैं सर ये प्रोफाइल मुझे नहीं करना है आफ्टर ज्वाइनिंग. So it is very difficult for HR to convince them, because HR is also human being. They don't want to deploy that person if he's not interested. But whole the process efforts are goes in vain in such cases. So it creates a bad impression, and sometimes the candidate is blacklisted. So better it is you understand where you are applying, in which company you are applying. You collect all the possible data from your sources. It is available on uh, website is itself. What the company is having, domain, business growth, anything else, management, whatever. Next point is read your academics again. Refresh your knowledge till the time of selection. Prepare yourself for an interview. Now, what we are facing that employees are having degree, but when we start asking questions on the very basic level of their own domain, the people are not able to answer, because what happens, they need to brush up before going to the interview. Because if you are going as a fresher, then definitely the questions will be related to your academics, not to the experience, what or we can say on the practicals. So the basic questions will be come from your academics on, and the interviewer only having your domain person, he will ask only basic knowledge which are correlated to the actual process of that company where you are going to work. So you must understand this critical stage where many candidates don't prepare properly, don't refresh their knowledge, and just appear for the interview. It's the sake of only 99% it goes to the failure because the impression what creates is very bad for the interviewer and the HR. Because if the person is appearing for interview, he is seeking a job, and if he is not prepared or she is not prepared, then it is of no use. It is wastage of time only. But and the other side, interview our interviewer are knowing that this person is fresher, so they never ask practical question, they only ask academics. And if the candidate is able to speak at least more than 50% of answers, then we will understand his basic is clear. Okay, now we can take him and groom him as per the our requirement. But most of the cases, if the answers are negative, then the interview goes on, the result will be goes towards the failure. So this point is very important for the freshers who are going to apply in coming months or years to the actual domain. So you go again, invest your time in reading, go to your whatever the notes, just read the basic concept, the principles, whatever. And in which company, if you are applying, for example you are applying pharma, then you just check in which department the vacancy is, and then you just correlate your academics to that particular department, and then you work on that particular domain. For example, the position is of analyst, then you should understand the basic principles of the instruments. Or if you are going for the production, then you should understand their molecular activities. So these are the some few basic connections where you can hit the interview properly, and you can get the increase the probability of employment. Next, we can discuss do preparations on few common interview questions. For example, every interview starts with the common questions to all candidates, because we are also as a interviewer, we the questions are only with the intention of to understand more about the candidate. Like, tell me about yourself, what how where you see after 4 or 5 years, what are your aspiration, which are your area of improvements. So these are the basic questions you can do prepare. These can be available on the YouTubes also, which are relevant, you can take it and do preparation. At least you can able to speak something in terms of these questions. Out of 30-40 questions, interviewer will not ask you more. Take foundation about career, means you first decide before applying to any job what you want to make in your career. Because I have came across some candidates, they apply, they break the interview, come join, work for a year, and then say sir ये मेरे को पसंद नहीं है, I need to go somewhere else. So it is बोलते हैं ना, ना कंपनी को उसका बेनिफिट मिलता है, ना वो the candidate को बेनिफिट मिलता है. So you should be firm on your decisions in which area you are applying, and if you get selected, I will continue with that profile until unless there is major deviations. But you understand where you are going first, so that you can utilize your proper channel of career growth, as well as you can save your time which you are going to waste. Ready for relocation, set your limits. First of all, it is very important, if you are getting job near your vicinity, nothing like it. But sometimes it doesn't happen, you need to apply to the out of vicinity. Means, for example, if you are staying in Nashik, then Nashik MIDC may not be able to absorb all the candidates, then you need to come Tarapur, Mumbai, Pune, Aurangabad, where the actual your careers are available. So you need to be able to relocate. Or if you don't relocate, then don't commit false to the HRs. Sir, I can't commit. I observed sometimes people say during interview, sir, I can relocate, I can come to there. And at the time of joining, sir मेरे घर से नहीं बोल रहे, इतना दूर नहीं होगा, मुझे खाने का प्रॉब्लम होगा, मेरे को ये होगा वो होगा. So all the process goes in vain. So it creates a bad impression, and it's very loss of time. So please clear, set your limits. If you want to relocate, be ready, because Relocation is always troublesome, but until unless you get a pain, you don't get the gain. So आपके vicinity में अगर job नहीं, you don't get the job, then you need to go outside. Otherwise, you don't seek for the jobs. Whatever you decide, whatever you want to do, in which area you want to. This is the practical based guidance I am giving. It is not necessary to. It is applicable to all. Set your limits. If you know your limitations, don't go for the higher aspiration. Be in limits or whatever. It will be easy for you also. Next, we can discuss. Be ready to struggle until you get the settle. For example, sometimes what happen, you have completed the degree, it doesn't guarantee you the employment until unless you reach to the particular vacancies companies in time, because sometimes what happen, the companies are looking for the candidates, but sometimes many people are could not reach to them. Sometimes people are reaching to them, to the company, but companies are not having vacancies. So these are the somewhere vice versa situations where you need to have patience. Keep on applying because there are many companies in the vicinity. If you see in terms of Maharashtra, the pharma sector is very big and it's booming during Corona also. So here or there, whatever, in which MIDC or in area Pune, Mumbai, whatever, you get the job, but you need to find it out. For those period, you need to be patient. Keep a patience. इमीडिएटली आपने करने के बाद एक महीने में जॉब नहीं मिलता है, मिला तो नथिंग लाइक इट, बट नहीं मिला तो कीप अ पेशेंस and try for it, because there are many channels due to this social media. Now HR and the candidates, the distance has been reduced too much. You get the link from today or tomorrow of particular vacancies and you can apply there. Success never comes overnight, first of all. So don't expect too much about yourself. If somebody is joining within a month, it's okay because he's luck or she's having luck. But in case if you're not getting job for 1 or 2 or 3 months, keep doing struggle. No harm in it is. We also have done for a year struggle. After that we got the better opportunities. So that is the key guideline I would like to give to the freshers, where you don't ask to your parents, give most time, and we will search a good company and good profile where we start the career. Last and foremost, I would like to say for the new generation, focus on learning rather than the CTC or money. Because we came across many people who are asking about the CTC, they don't generally ask about what is the profile, how much I can learn from it, what are the growth aspects of that profile. But generally they ask CTC because they are looking for the limited area of their scope. But you need to understand, if you have the capability, the companies are ready to pay. Means, for example, if I say uh, my company is ready to pay 10,000 also, 10 lakhs also, and we pay it because we see the outputs. So as a fresher or in your career path, you focus on learning. CTC is the byproduct. It will come according with your capabilities. No private company will say आपका इतना अच्छा एक्सपीरियंस है, आपको हम 10,000 देंगे. Never. They always give better 10 to 15% than your बोलते हैं ना, equal level of cater, because they want to retain such talent with them. Every company, private organization. So I personally urge you give focus on learning rather than the CTC. CTC is no doubt important. I am also working for CTC, but it's a byproduct. If you have the capability, the companies are bound to pay you. This company, irrespective of other company, any company will pay. But until unless you have that uh, capability within you, your profile, your learnings, your delivery, how much you are able to deliver. Hope I have cleared you. We'll go to the next slide, where I would like to give some interview tips, and where you can able to prepare yourself in much better manner. As I mentioned in earlier slide somewhere, HR generally asks very similar kind of questions to all candidates. These are available in YouTube also, because the intention of that basic questions are to understand more about you, to understand the suitability of your profile, your under knowledge to the concerned vacancy. So these are the only intention. So first question always asked to candidates are, tell me about yourself. So this is the non-ended question. Means you need to mention your name, where do you stay first, your family members, how many are they, and what they are doing currently. For example, father is a farmer. Mention that he is farmer doing farming. Mother is housewife. Brother is learning or taking education in this standard. Sister is married and she is relocated in this area. Fair enough. Your education details you mention from HSC where you SSC where you completed HSC, how many marks you see. Everything is there in your CV, but still interviewer wants to know how much you are aligned to your own achievements. So just mention it, and if you have the experience, then go company wise. In this company, I learned from this period to this period. I done this job profile. From next company, I changed to this result, and this is my uh, profile. If you are fresher, then only job experience is not required because interviewer is knowing that you don't have the experience. But if any achievements if you have done, then you mention in that yourself in that question. Then generally sub questions will come after your information, and then if the HR and technical person is sitting together, then HR will hand over the interview next session to the technical person, and the technical questions will be asked. So the basically for freshers, technical questions will be on the academics, and the experienced person is there, then it will be on experience, the past experience. So what the interviewer actually judging your knowledge and the application of your knowledge to the current vacancy. If you know theoretically good, then he is confident that my team member can be groomed after 2 3 months and I can get the work from him because his basics are clear where I'm going to deploy him. So these are the only basic intentions while asking the questions, and the questions are asked according to that compatibility. Means how much you are um compatible to the current vacancy. Okay, so that's why I asked you in earlier slide that you prepare yourself according to the vacancy. Got it my point? Here is the linkage. When the most of the questions will come in that accordance only. If you are prepared well, then you can able to answer well, and if you able to answer well, the interview results will also well. So third is use decent dress code. Haircut will be the proper, because first impression is last impression is always taken care of, because any company want the professional employees. So whatever your style during the your what do you say college time, don't replicate during the interviews. You just comb properly, use the proper decent dress code, and then appear. Tie is not necessary always, but decent dress code is always preferable while appearing for the interview. If the interview is online, then ensure that the network is proper at your area, at the because the HR has given you time, particular time on day. On that area and time, you should have the proper network during that interview phase, and silence in the background. Sometimes what happen, you are sitting somewhere and the background noise is more, it could affect to your judgment of the interview. So better it is, these are the basics you should always remember. Remain confident but don't lie. That is very important. Some I have observed many candidates are trying to बोलते हैं ना घुमाओ घुमा फिरा के उत्तर आंसर देते हैं. That is always wrong. Remain confident but don't lie, because interviewer of technical interviewer is experienced and from the same domain which you are coming from, so he knows the basic answers. So don't try to lie there. If you don't know, just say, sir, I don't know this, sorry, finish. He can ask the next question. If you try to moving around, then it creates the wrong impression, because यहाँ पे ये घुमा रहा है तो अंदर फिर काम करते टाइम कितना घुमा. That is the natural assumption of that interview maybe. So better it is just say, I don't know, I don't know, thank you very much. You can ask the another question. Better it is if you prepare on few strong areas of your academics where your liking area. where many times we give the candidates means once we ask question 2-3 questions, and if we could not answer, then we ask that fresher candidate, you tell about which are the area you are good at. So you can speak on that area. We will understand. We'll go for questions on that area. So you prepare some area where from your academics where you have the much more liking, and sometimes you get the opportunity during the interview. You will get the good answers at that time. So these are the few basic concerns where you can always remember. So I think I'm done with my stuff now. Harshal sir, we can take the question answers if the time allows us.
Yes, sir. Surely, uh, this slides or this your experience related to recruitment process that is helpful for our student. Definitely for their career perspective, this is very helpful. Now, I would request to all student third year, final year, M.Pharm student, they can ready with their questions and their questions that are entertained or that are resolved. Your queries related to your career or related to your uh, recruitment process, you can ask, free to ask. Yes, start with your question. While asking question, you can on your video. Yes, final year, third year student, you can start with the questions.
You can ask in Marathi also. I am also Marathi. If you ask Marathi, I will able to answer. No issue. You can ask in Marathi also. It's welcome. I will try my best to give the answers.
Hello, sir.
Yes, final
Hello,
year. Yes, yes.
myself Gauri Chaudhary. I'm final year student, and my question is, what are the key points that make our CV identical than the among participants?
Gauri, you are fresher, I think, right? M.Pharm
Yes, sir.
or B.Pharm.
B Farm.
Okay. So first of all, you mention your proper address. Second, your education. Third, if you have any points like skill or any other and price, if you have taken, then you mentioned there also area of interest, and basically as a fresher CV, you also mentioned in which area you would like to work off your. For example, if you are M.Pharm or B.Pharm, so you know area of where you are applying in which industries. So you mentioned that, for example, I am interested in pharmacy, I am interested in QA, I am interested in QC. So you just mentioned list down 2-3 parameters, so that as a HR, when we see the CV na, so we correlate that this person is okay. हाँ, ये QA के लिए भी चल सकता है, QC के लिए भी चल सकता है, pharmacy के लिए चल सकता है, production के लिए भी चल सकता है. So we get the insight from that CV that this person is ready to work whichever area, irrespective. Once the interview is done, then the final decision will be taken. But at the time of CV screening, we get to know every information, and on the basis of that, we can assume that this person is more suitable to this vacancy or the next vacancy. So these are the key points where you should mention in your CV, so that your CV can be more screened through the HR at the primary case.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Next question.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes. Proceed.
Sir, myself Naneshwari Kate from final year B Farm. Sir, my question is, what are the essential core skill highlights by HR?
Pardon? I didn't get you.
Please repeat.
Can you repeat?
Naneshwari, repeat your question.
Yes, sir. What are the essential core skill highlights by HR?
Means you would like to ask HR ला काय courses आहेत का
सर
HR तुम्हाला
मी रिपीट करतो तिचा क्वेश्चन. तिचं म्हणणं आहे का व्हॉट आर इसेन्शियल स्किल्स कोर स्किल दॅट आर हायलाइटेड और दॅट आर प्रिफर्ड बाय HR
in your CV you would like to ask, Daneshwari?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. As I answered in first question, whatever skill, what are you good at? you just mention in numerical form, or you can say just tick mark. Okay, I'm good at this area. So that interview can technical, when the CV goes to the technical person, so he just go through the your CV first, because he knows you are fresher, and he says that okay, these are the areas where we can applicable to the actual vacancy. So like that I said, you mentioned the QA QC, whichever area you would like to go first, and second the further details. If you would like to mention that this I will be able to answer if asked in the interview, this area also I can mention. But remember, once you mentioned in the CV na, you should be thoroughly prepared on those lines, because interview generally ask the questions on the same which you have written in the CV, generally in fresher cases. Naneshwari, hope I addressed your question in
Yes,
right
sir.
manner.
Thank you.
Yes,
Yes.
Naneshwari, did you get this? What skill should be means mentioned in a CV? That is explained by sir. Okay, next question. Yes, any question? Third year, final
विचारा
year.
विचारा विचारा, हा तुम्हाला खूप चांगला प्लॅटफॉर्म मिळाला,
मराठीत पण विचारू
विचारून घ्या
शकता.
तुमचे काय विचार.
फ्री टू आस्क, कुठलाही क्वेश्चन असो तुमच्या मनातला. प्रसाद. येस, कोणीतरी ऑन करताय. येस.
Hello, sir.
हा. Yes, yes.
Sir, what is the impact of COVID on the requirement in pharma as well as CTC?
Devendra, I think we are, as a Cytec Labs, we are expanding our unit by 100 people now. This is the corona impact. So in terms of pharmaceutical industry is on boom due to this corona, because there is lot of requirement on the medical medicine side. So our business is growing in multifold due to this corona scenario. We have not stopped our operations during a high course of corona as well. We deployed so many buses, we taken all the precautions, but our operations and manufacturing all are running well, and we have achieved more business acumen rather to before corona, because it is not good to say that, but the demand of medicines have increased tremendously, so that the pharma industry is on boom during this corona. So vacancies are more created during this phase in pharma, I feel.
Yes. Any more question?
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, प्रसाद. तू ऑन केला होता मगाशी. प्रसाद. Yes, no more questions.
हर्षल सर, सर्वांना विचारा, त्यांना जे पीपीटी आहे ते तर समजले का, म्हणजे काय फीडबॅक किंवा त्यात तुम्हाला काय वाटते का, ही पीपीटी तुम्हाला युजफुल राहील भविष्यात?
येस सर, मीच तुम्हाला करणार आहे. ऍक्च्युली मी जाधव सर होतोय, हर्षल सरांचंच मी नेटवर्क वगैरे यूज करतोय. सो माय सेल्फ प्रवीण जाधव सर. सो आय एम वर्किंग विथ द ट्रेनिंग प्लेसमेंट डिपार्टमेंट इन KPHS ट्रस्ट इन्स्टिट्यूट ऑफ फार्मसी. सो ही पीपीटी आम्हाला फार युजफुल आहे सर. आता सध्या मुलं GPAT प्रिपरेशन मध्ये बिझी आहेत. सो अगेन मला तरी वाटतं मुलांना आफ्टर GPAT अगेन मला एक तुमचं सेशन मी जर मिळालं तर चांगलंच राहील. बिकॉज आमचं आतापर्यंतचा 3 वर्षांचा सिनेरिओ असा आहे की 50% स्टुडंट हायर एज्युकेशनला जातात. B.Pharm we have 80 student in final year B.Pharm right now. So 40 student they prefer to go for higher studies, B.Pharm, or 2 or 3 student may go for MS or MBA, and mostly 20 means almost 40 student they will select as a career or they will enter into master education and remaining 50% student, they will join industry after B.Pharm. So is it suitable or it is beneficial for them? तर तुमचा एक मला मेसेज हवाय की सर आफ्टर B.Pharm करिअर स्टार्ट केलेलं चांगलं असेल का? कारण आता गेल्या 3 वर्षापासून ऑलमोस्ट 50% स्टुडंट आफ्टर B.Pharm फार्मा इंडस्ट्रीकडे वळालेत किंवा जॉईन करतायत. वेगवेगळे सेक्टर, फॉर एक्झाम्पल मेडिकल कोडिंगला जात आहे, देन फार्माकोव्हिजिलन्स, फार्मा सेक्टर मध्ये QA QC वेगवेगळ्या डिपार्टमेंटला जॉईन करतात. सो ते चांगलं असेल का की M.Pharm नंतर जॉईन केलेलं चांगलं फॉर देअर करिअर पर्स्पेक्टिव्ह मी विचारतो सर.
सर कसं आहे, B.Pharm ला पण काही ऑपॉर्च्युनिटीज आहेत आणि M.Pharm ला पण काही ऑपॉर्च्युनिटीज आहेत.
येस सर.
पण हायर एज्युकेशन इज ऑलवेज admired for the future growth. For example, if I have the highest degree, then definitely in my career ladder it can be, because generally जेव्हा आपण काम एज्युकेशन कुठतर मागे राहतच. त्यामुळं better it is if they have the scope, then they complete the post graduation and then go to the labor market, no issue. But in case त्यांना आता गरज असेल B.Pharm, तर त्यांना B.Pharm नंतर ही खूप opportunities available आहेत. ते त्यांच्यावर आहे, डिपेंडिंग अपॉन हिम.
ऑडिओ म्यूट करा. कोणाचा ऑडिओ ऑन झाला होता? सर प्लीज अनम्यूट युअर व्हिडिओ. जाधव सर, बाय मिस्टेक.
येस. जाधव सर, कसं आहे ते मुलांनी ठरवावं, त्यांच्या फॅमिलीने ठरवावं. आपण कसं, आपण फक्त त्यांना गायडन्स देऊ शकतो की बिकॉज ऑपॉर्च्युनिटीज आर एव्हरीवेअर.
Right.
After B.Pharm also, in production there are huge opportunities.
Yes,
In
definitely.
fact, you don't get candidates for manufacturing. And
मुलांचा सेल्फ डिसिजन असेल की आफ्टर B.Pharm or after M.Pharm they will join.
कारण जनरली कसं होतं सर, नोकरीला लागलं की पुन्हा एज्युकेशन थोडंसं मागं राहतं.
राईट सर.
आणि पुन्हा मग वाटतं की अरे आपण M.Pharm करून जॉईन झालो असतो बरं झालं असतं.
येस सर. सर अजून 1-2 क्वेश्चन्स होते. सर aptitude test and group discussions are mandatory in every interviews in pharma company?
Not necessary, because generally these are taken during campus interviews only.
Okay sir. Okay.
Not one-to-one recruitments or जैसे वॉक इन वरते त्यावेळी पण नसतं हे. फक्त ज्यावेळी कॅम्पस इंटरव्ह्यूज असतात ना, त्यांना HR ला ऍज अ HR आम्हाला थोडं म्हणतात ना, ब्राईट स्टुडंट्स सिलेक्ट करायचे असतात.
Right.
On that basis, the aptitude and the group discussion is always preferred to get the scrutiny, because मला माहित नाही ना तुमचे 40 स्टुडंट कसे आहेत. फॉर एक्झाम्पल ऍज अ HR, if I come to your institute, I don't know how the people are there, but during group discussion I can locate few people. हा चला, हा थोडा बोलू शकतो किंवा I can correlate to my requirements then. And aptitude is definitely during, मला वाटतंय मास रिक्रुटमेंट असेल किंवा कॅम्पस असेल, अदरवाइज जनरली दे डोंट यूज.
ओके सर. सर वन स्टुडंट त्यांनी क्वेश्चन सेंड केलाय. प्रसाद बैरागी हॅज सेंड वन क्वेश्चन. सो दॅट क्वेश्चन, हाऊ फ्रेशर विल गेट इनटू फार्मा कंपनीज as companies are not, means there is a notification, there is no information regarding to recruitment, or right now only few vacancies are there and that are not getting by the student, or that are not notified by the student. So how fresher can enter?
As I mentioned, if you remember, then first of all, आप तुम्ही ना करिअर सेक्शनला अप्लाय करा तुमच्या पर्स्पेक्टिव्ह कंपनीजला.
ओके सर.
तिथे एक टॅब ओपन असतो कायम CV साठी. तो CV डायरेक्ट HR ला पोहोचतो नेहमी, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल. सेकंड, मी जसं म्हटलं, तुमचे इंटरनल जे नेटवर्क आहेत, म्हणजे सिनियर्स असतील किंवा रिलेटिव्ह असतील किंवा थ्रू युअर फॅकल्टी असतील, प्लेसमेंट सेल असेल, टू कीप युअर अवेलेबिलिटी इन्फॉर्म टू देम. जेव्हा कुठल्याही कंपनीत इंटरनल जॉब पोस्टिंग जातात, फॉर एक्झाम्पल सायटेकला समजा 3 वॅकंट पोझिशन भरायचे असतील, तर त्याचा मेल आमच्या 400 एम्प्लॉयला जातो इंडिव्हिज्युअली. मग त्या एम्प्लॉय मध्ये जर तुमच्या ओळखीचा कोणता असेल, फॉर एक्झाम्पल त्या कॅन्डिडेटच्या, तो लगेच तुम्हाला सांगेल, अरे इथे आपल्याकडे आहे, तो अप्लाय कर. सो दिस इज अनदर चॅनल वेअर यू कॅन कम टू नो द वॅकन्सीज आर देअर. तिसरी गोष्ट आहे, तुम्हाला जर HR चे ईमेल ID मिळाले रेफरन्सेस, यू जस्ट सेंड युअर CV टू देम.
ओके सर.
हा त्यांच्या डेटाबेस मध्ये राहतो. कारण कसं असतं, ज्यावेळी तुम्ही CV पाठवता त्यावेळी तिथे वॅकन्सी असेलच असं नाही जनरली. त्यामुळे तुम्हाला असं कदाचित ग्रहू शकतो की मी पाठवलंय पण माझं सिलेक्शन नाही झालं. तर ऍक्च्युअल तसं नसतं. तुमच्यावर तो CV त्यांना पोहोचलेला असतो. फक्त एवढंच असतं की ऍज अ HR आमच्याकडे मॅनपॉवर खूप कमी असते. सर एक 2 मिनिटं मी चार्जिंगला लावतो. हे एक
ओके.
2
येस सर.
एक आय विल क्वेश्चन युअर रिमेनिंग आन्सर. जस्ट
सर 1-2 क्वेश्चन्स फक्त बाकी.
हा, फक्त मी हे चार्जिंगला लावतो लॅपटॉप.
येस सर. शुअरली. फायनल इयर साइड एनी क्वेश्चन्स आर देअर? चॅट बॉक्स मध्ये दिसत आहे. ओके. प्रसाद हॅज रिप्लाइड. ओके. ओके प्रसाद. अजून कोणाचं आहे? हा. येस. एनी मोर क्वेश्चन? थर्ड इयर, फायनल इयर.
हा सर, तर मी कंटिन्यू करतो जे माझं पहिलं तुम्हाला सांगत होतो. तर
Yes,
CV जातात HR कडे, पण कसं आहे, HR मध्ये मॅनपॉवर तशी कमी असते. तर प्रत्येक वेळी त्या CV ना रिप्लाय करणं शक्य होत नाही जनरली. म्हणजे इन केस आवर केस ऑल्सो वी रिसिव्ह जनरली 50 to 60 CVs पर डे. तर त्या प्रत्येक CV ला आम्हाला रिप्लाय करणं शक्य होत नाही. मग अशा वेळी काय होतं की आम्ही ते काय करतो, एकदा स्क्रीन करतो आणि डेटाबेस मध्ये ठेवून देतो. सो फॉर फ्रेशर्स डेफिनेटली कमी वॅकन्सीज असतात. पण आता मी जसं यात मेन्शन या स्लाइड मध्ये अप्रेंटिस स्कीम अंडर ना भरपूर वॅकन्सी निघतायत आता सध्या इन प्रोडक्शन लाईन ॲज वेल एज. आणि आता बऱ्याच फार्मा ह्या अप्रेंटिस स्कीमच्या अंडर घ्यायला लागले कॅन्डिडेट्स. कारण पहिले आपण ट्रेनिंग म्हणून घेत होतो, पण आता अप्रेंटिस स्कीमच्या अंडर प्रत्येक कंपनीला 2.5% ते 25% मॅनपॉवर भरायचे. So this is also another channel where employees can apply there. आणि मग तिथं अप्रेंटिस स्कीम नंतर 1 ते 1.5 वर्ष 2 वर्ष जे पण काय तो फेज असेल त्यामध्ये त्यांना ऑन जॉब ट्रेनिंग भेटतं. आणि रादर टू सिटिंग आयडियल दे कॅन बी ऍक्च्युअल ऑन फ्लोअर वर्किंग ऍज अप्रेंटिस. आणि नंतर त्याच कंपनीत जर जॉब असतील फ्युचर तर त्या कंपनी ऍब्सॉर्ब करतात. नसेल तर दुसऱ्या कंपनीसाठी हा बेस होतो की बाबा चला 1 वर्ष 2 वर्ष तुमचं अप्रेंटिस या डोमेन मध्ये काम केलंय तुम्ही, तर तुम्हाला फ्रेशर पेक्षा जास्त एम्प्लॉयबिलिटी मिळते.
Yes.
You will considered as little bit experienced than the fresher.
Right.
आणि तिसरी गोष्ट आहे ते Naukri.com वर तुम्ही पोस्टिंग ठेवा, अपडेट ठेवा, कीप ऑन अपडेटेड ऑलवेज. कारण कोणता HR कधी जाऊन तिथं CV स्क्रीन चेक करेल तुम्हाला माहित नसतं. सो बी अपडेटेड ऑन दॅट. त्यासाठी तुम्हाला आपला सगळ्यांचा अँड्रॉइड फोन आहेत जवळजवळ, तर त्या अँड्रॉइड फोनवर Naukri.comचं हे आहे, म्हणजे ऍप पण आहे. whenever any employer screen your CV on Naukri.com, you get the alerts. Or employer post any vacancy regarding the fresher, you get the alerts on that app.
Okay. Yes. Many more questions? Okay, sir. I think so. Questions are asked by student or certain suggestion. I definitely deliver to you, sir. And in future also, same kind of cooperation is required from you, your end also, sir. And now I will go for next part of session, that is vote of thank. First of all, very good afternoon, all of you, all participants. Myself, Mr. Pravin B.Jadhav. I'm assistant professor in KBH Pharmacy College, and I'm working with the training placement department also. I'm fortunate that I'm working with this also. So it gives me an immense pleasure to deliver vote of thanks for this session, which is going very interesting. And I would thank Mr. Amit Jadhav sir, who has given his precious time to us and deliver such nice and informative session regarding to role of HR in recruitment process. This session would definitely helpful to making career for pharma graduate and postgraduate students. I would like thank to our principal sir, Dr. Bairagi sir, and our management, Honorable Prasad Bapu Hire sir, that he will given permission to organize such good guest lecture series. Today, it is our seventh session that would conducted. Uh, Also, I would like to thank all the listeners, all the learners, and this lecture will definitely helpful for them in their career perspective. Thank you, sir. Once again, thank you, Amit Jadhav, sir, that you have given your precious time, and in future also your advice, your means your help is there in future also for our pharma graduate students, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you for giving for this opportunity to me. I'll also thankful for your institute and as well as you and the students listening me for since 1 hour calmly. So hope I have make some difference in their knowledge
Yes, sir.
through
Surely.
this one hour session, and this may helpful for them in their future career. Best of luck to them. In case of any help required, you please contact to Jadhav sir. They will reach out to me, and we can, if required, we have one more session on interviews and its preparations, where we can go in depth in that particular session, so
Yes,
that
sir.
it can to the further level of them. No issue.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you once again.
Thank you, sir.
Now we can conclude.
Okay, sir. Thank you.